What's up, everybody? I can't tell you how excited I am to be back in 2025 with our very first guest on FranchisOR Bust. Katie, can you believe it? This is our third year with FranchisOR Bust.
Season 3, first episode. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and clearly we are not a bust. Okay, this is a podcast that's sweeping the country, talking to influential and important folks in the franchise space, and we've got a great one today. His name is Scott Sutton. He is the Chief Development Officer for Empower Brands. So we're going to get a great perspective today on not only cool things about the franchise space and everything you'd want to learn about why getting into franchising is important, but also a little bit of an interesting take here because Scott and the business he works for has control over multiple brands. So kind of an insight there into what that looks like as well, and the benefits maybe of being a part of an organization that has multiple brands a part of it. So Scott, I queued you up a little bit there, but it's nice to see you. And how are you doing?
It's great to be here. I'm doing great. Trevor, Katie, thanks for having me. And I'm excited to be the start of season 3. I'm not going to lie. There's, I know that there's a high bar, so I will do my best to share as much as I can. I'm the Chief Development Officer, as you mentioned, Trevor, at Empower Brands. We are excited about 2025. There's been a lot of momentum, some incredible work that's been done by our team and our franchise owners to lay the foundation for what we think is going to be an incredible year as we get through this election cycle and some of the uncertainties that have been hovering over the markets over the last 6 months. I think everybody's taken a deep breath. We've gotten through the holidays. And from a franchising perspective, we are now officially in what we refer to as resolution season. So a lot of folks that are coming out of the holiday season, they've been with their friends, they've been with their families, they're finally thinking more about, hey, I'm finally going to take that step. I'm finally going to do what I've been thinking about doing for years, maybe decades, and I'm going to take that step, cross that bridge into business ownership. We're excited to engage with those folks, and it's fun talking about it.
Absolutely. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it, and specifically talk a little bit about what you do at Empower Brands, and maybe start us off a little bit about a little more about Empower Brands, so that we can just kind of set the table for what potentially being in the franchise space and the home services brands would look like, and specifically what that would look like with Empower.
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's interesting. You talk about crossing into year 3 for this great program and the series that you're building. We just crossed into year 3 with Empower Brands as our brand name of our portfolio of award-winning concepts. Empower Brands really came about through the merger of 2 franchise portfolio companies, Lynx Franchising, which predominantly had been focusing on the commercial client, and Outdoor Living Brands, which is, and at the time, of course, was a residential services franchisor with a number of brands in the portfolio. Those 2 came together, and one of the first initiatives that was kicked off by our CEO, Scott Sutton, was to really look at the 2 companies and say, we've got to integrate and really understand how we go to market as one culture, one organization, so that we can build and bring value, not just to our franchise owners, but the clients and customers each serves. So Empower Brands as a brand name was born just over 2 years ago, and we've got 10 brands in the portfolio. We've got brands that started franchising in the 80s and early 90s, and we have brands that started franchising about 14 months ago. So when we think about the spectrum